Michele.
I feel buoyant and alive.
Hello there, this is Michele Ho Lung, and this is the 37th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show. And it is so great to have you joining us. I see that there's a couple people in the audience. I'm not going to put you on screen right now because the question is, what is it that you want to mostly find out about tonight? It's been a wonderful start to the new year. I have the Master the Art of You program going on right now, and people are having a wonderful, exciting time seeing what they can attract to themselves right now. And in my newsletter, if you got it today, well, in the newsletter, I talked about this lunar year, which is the year of the snake. And yes, I am Chinese and I have a Jamaican accent, but my roots are Chinese. So Gong Hei Fat Choi, happy year of the snake. And this, what I got wind of is that this year is actually a beautiful time for putting out the intention, because the energy of the lunar year this year is amazingly powerful, just because there is a lot of energy of shift and change, and a shifting of the consciousness of the world, if you believe in that kind of thing. And for me, I never used to really get this. I always thought about astrology, the horoscope. Well, that's really, not so that's not so scientific, the horoscope, in a sense, because it's so general. But when you get into the actual astrological charts, and there's several of them out there right now, a couple of people I know actually go into it with a different calculation. And I'm not an expert on it. I just kind of grab what I need from it to get an idea of how I need to show up and what influences could be, because we all know that the moon affects the tides, the tidal currents, and what over the years I've come to really respect astrology, because it's based on science. It's based on calculations of where the different planets are in relation to each other, in relation to the earth, in relation to the moon, in relation to the sun, and all of that, and all of this creates an energy. And so this year, what I'd like to challenge you to think about is to start off the year really thinking about how you can shift how you're showing up, how you can shift what you're thinking in your mind, how you can be more aware of what your thoughts are. Because if I've learned anything else on my journey, is that if you can maintain a positive mindset, truly positive, if you can watch what's bringing you down or causing you to go into this downward spiral, that when you are able to do that, you're able to take a different view of life totally, because we have a choice in how we look at what's showing up in our day. So taking a different perspective, looking at it in a different way. So if something really bad is happening, the positive people would say, okay, can you find that silver lining in the darkest of clouds? What is it that if you really looked hard, you could find a way of thinking about it that would make you feel maybe not physically better, but mentally more uplifted than if you were to just say, well, I'm always unlucky. Or now, if you continue to tell yourself that, then that's what you're going to attract to yourself. So if you really believe that there's a law of attraction, that what you think about is what you focus on is what you attract, then I think you'll agree that it makes sense to also watch what you're thinking about. And so often we will get into that, that positive affirmation headspace, and we think, have to be positive. And you do it for a little while, and then something happens and you go right down this spiral. And it takes you sometimes places where you really, really don't like being, but sometimes it feels like you just can't help yourself, because it could be a rage, it could be a sadness, it could be a beating up on yourself that's so bad that there there is a feeling that you're trapped, or even that there is no end to that tunnel. And how do you then pull yourself back up? Sometimes if you have someone in your life who can sense what you're going through, or who knows you well enough, they'll reach out to you and spot you doing that, and challenge you to stop what you're doing and come back up. But a lot of times we may be alone at night, or in our quiet space somewhere else, and then this happens. So how do you stop yourself? And I know it's hard. I've been there myself many years ago. I mean, we're all human, right? So how do you stop yourself from really starting to just sink lower and lower, where you feel like you can't breathe sometimes? You just wanna, your whole body tenses up. You have this sinking feeling of impending doom. You sometimes maybe start to breathe shallowly. You can't, you feel like, you're suffocating, sometimes drowning. How do you stop yourself? It's so difficult, isn't it, when you're alone and you feel like you're thinking, who can I call? Who can I call? What can I do about it? How do I stop myself from doing this? And in the moment, it's almost, I would say, it feels like you can't stop it. Now, there's one thing that you could do, and that is, if you're in bed trying to sleep, is get out of bed and break the thought pattern with something. Get out of your bed. Maybe if there's some music, or there's something that you have in the fridge that you've been thinking about eating, or something that is a pattern interrupt, is what we're looking for here. If you can find a pattern interrupt for even a few minutes, if you can reach out to someone, that's sometimes the best thing. If you have someone on call who you can phone and reach out to and say, I'm going down this spiral, can you help? I need someone to pull me out. I need someone to speak some sense into me so I stop this. Because you see, fear, doubts and fears, it's not real. Let me repeat that. Fears are not real unless it's actually a fire that's behind you and you're trying to get away. The fear is an imagined, or your mind getting you thinking, how can I save myself in the future? How do I protect myself in the future? And it's a worry, right? It's not real yet. So how do you stop it? The pattern interrupt. For me, sometimes that pattern interrupt has been playing music. And sometimes it's just simply standing up, turning on the light, and just going to something. Here's the thing, if you have a gratitude journal, sometimes it's going to that gratitude journal and just flipping through and saying, for example, if you are thinking nobody cares about you, flip to where you were thankful that somebody reached out and did something really nice that was so amazing you couldn't believe it. Sometimes it's just getting the brain focused on something in your life that happened in the past. And it's a matter of refocusing and breaking that snowball of negative thoughts and feelings and emotions, that, especially where something triggered a very sad memory or something traumatic, and your brain started remembering all these things with the emotion of that. So going back to this lunar new year of this new moon, it's this energy. What I've read and come to understand about this new year of the snake is that the new moon has this amazing energy that accelerates clearing the blocks, releasing doubts and fears, releasing everything that's holding you back. And if you can get tuned into your heart space, if you can get aligned with what it is you want, if you can really visualize what it is you want in your life and set aside all the fear and all the doubts, and really, this is not where you're, you know, blowing yourself up and just it's all fluff. It's where you really feel that you have an expertise, you have a gift that you know you have, that people have told you have. This is where you know your value in yourself and what you can do, whether or not other people believe in you or not. This is where you believe in you and you know you can do it. And that's where you get really clear on the power within you, and you get that feeling where you know you can do what it is you set your mind out to do. And this is where you power that up and then go after it with everything you have, seeing yourself as accomplishing what it is that you set out to do. And this new moon, it's still pretty new, but it's not so new anymore, right? Because that was on last Friday, but it's still pretty new. So if you can right now, the rest of this month especially, get a plan in place, look at what you're doing and set your 2025 year up for you. And in my Master the Art of You program, the people on that course, my students, this is what they're all focused on. This is what they're holding each other accountable to. And it is a pretty exciting space to be creating a year that's full of more ease, more flow, and being more in control of you, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. And for me, that's what I call to be a better CEO of you. And mastering the art of you is really that. It's about being able to look at your whole life, what's going on in your relationships, your work, your life, yourself within, your health, your wealth. And then from there, deciding how it is, and you're going to keep yourself moving forward, what it is you need to be working on, and actually pulling out your stops, getting centered, grounded, and all those nice things, and with tools and everything else to go for that. So where are you right now? What is it that you want to do, and what's stopping you? The other thing I was thinking of talking about too is the concept of, for those of you in business and you're looking at how do you move your business forward this year, is what came to me the other day is, we talked about health a lot last year. How do you stay healthy? How do you get healthier each and every day? What do you do to keep yourself fit? Because you see, without your health, you are no good to anyone else. And I've said that so many times, but I truly believe that, and I know that. Because if I'm not healthy, I can't look after my home, my family, myself. If I can't walk properly or I can't breathe properly, I'm not going to be able to help myself or do things for myself. So how am I going to help anybody else? So this post came up in LinkedIn this week, and it was about a product, this gel that stems bleeding, and it's almost, they said, instantaneous. It's made from algae. And I thought that's really interesting, being able to stop bleeding that nicely. And I thought, well, this is going to be a nice thing to put into my first aid kit. And I think it's available. I have to go check on it now, because it's called Trauma Gel. And at first I thought it was a homeopathic remedy, because Trauma Care is an amazing homeopathic cream for like muscular aches and pains and all sorts of skin rashes, that kind of thing, shallow cuts, not deep cuts. Trauma Care is a homeopathic preparation, and it's good, it's gentle. What that led me to think about, and those of you who know me know that this is how my brain works. I get one thing and then my brain leaps and it goes on to another subject. Well, my other passion is process. Everything is a process. So on the energy side and the spiritual side, everything is energy and vibration. But on the process business side, everything is a process. Everything has a step, you know, and then a bunch of processes make up a system. And then when you start to bring the process together for a business, then you have this thing that's called interaction of processes and the interplay of all of that. Even in your home, you have processes. The process of cooking, you have a recipe which gives you your steps, which then is a process. You can actually draw a process flow chart on that, believe it or not. Brushing at your teeth, as I say in my book, Sparkle and Shine, that's a process too. So everything is a process. Well, a lot of times my other hat is that I was into quality, very much so. Not quality control, but quality assurance. Because you see, here's the thing. No one person can control quality in a business. Why? Because there's all these processes, you see, with all these steps done by different people, and different processes come together. And then at the end of the whole series of processes, you have a product or a service. Well, how is it that you're going to control any of that? The way to control or the way to assure quality in a business is to work through people. That's the secret. That's the secret of having success in business. It is how do you engage people's hearts and minds so that they look after their own quality, and through everyone doing their part in assuring the quality or controlling their own quality of what they produce, right? We look at the details of what we're doing. We make sure what we put out to the next step in the process is good and meets all the requirements. And then before you know it, what you're gonna get, what quality? You're gonna get a really nice product. You're gonna, if you have a restaurant and everybody, all the different people are doing their part, washing the vegetables, cutting it up, seasoning, well, the chef is doing that, but the presentation, the keeping, carrying it to the table, to the client, and so forth. When everybody does their part, then that restaurant will do really well. But if someone slips up, then what comes out is not so good, right? So even in what we do at home, there is quality. It's quality is everywhere. It's what makes us happy, right? When we get something given to us and it's what we expect, whether it's at work, at home, at the restaurant, whether it's something that, washing the dishes or washing the clothes and it's done right, we're happy, right? So everything is a process. So when this, going back again, I'm jumping again. So going back to the gel that helps with bleeding and helps to stem the bleeding. If you've ever had something that's bleeding a lot, it's really scary and you want to be able to stop it. I thought, well, that's a really nice thing. Sometimes in a company, though, you have something that maybe you can't really see the bleeding in a sense, because quality is something that creeps up. Lack of quality is something that creeps up and is hidden, especially if it's done under, you have other things that you add in. Like once you add the ingredients for a recipe, you don't know what's added, right? It's not like you can go, well, salt was added, sugar was added, cinnamon was added. It's already in there. It's hidden. So the bleeding, how do you stop it from even starting to bleed? How do you actually look after the quality in your company so that there's no bleeding to start with? Or if there is bleeding, you can stop it early. Well, the first thing is through people. Make sure your people are trained properly. Make sure you have the processes outlined. Make sure you have the interactions, the handshakes really nicely defined. And then from there, it is the checking up, to make sure you have the audits, to make sure that you know what's going on in your business. You have the measurements, you have the things that you are checking to make sure that you're, and that's where the quality assurance comes in, you're assuring the product. However, part of that whole process, if you don't mind that word, is that everybody who touches it in a business, it would be good to be able to follow the touch points. And that's where this whole concept of having a framework for your system in your business, where that whole system comes into play, and how something like ISO 9001, if you, that term sounds familiar, but you're not sure what it is, that's what this is all about. It's having that framework so that you can make sure all these things are together, and it's nicely packaged in what is called ISO 9001, 2015 right now. So this whole topic, we talked about being CEO of you just before, keeping yourself happy. Well, you can keep your business happy by having a framework on how you manage your processes and your systems and your people in place, because an ISO 9001 system does all of that, right? And it's not where you necessarily have to go for the certification for ISO 9001. You can actually use a framework for your business and then make sure it's in compliance with that, provided that, of course, your customers aren't demanding that you have ISO 9001 certification, because sometimes that happens, and then you will need to go for ISO 9001 certification. So I know that this has been a kind of a, a jump episode, but I think going into a new year, it's everything affects us, right? As CEOs of ourselves. If you're working, you have a family that you're raising, you have yourself, and maybe you have health challenges. All of these things come together. And if you're the CEO of you, you have to be able to manage all these components that are surrounding you. And when you're able to look at all these different parts, take that big picture and view it all together and manage it, then that's essentially the master, being the master of the art of being CEO of you. So that's why I call that program that's going on right now, Mastering the Art of You, because you see, all those things can come together, and it's just a matter of where it is. What are your challenges right now in your life? Where are you gravitating to in terms of the priorities in your life right now? Is it finance? Is it health? Is it that you have a challenge that, maybe around your home or your family, or you're supporting a group of people or someone in your family? Or was it a loss of a job or a loss of someone? What are the challenges, and what is that bringing up? And then how do you manage that within you? How do you keep yourself up? What's your support system? What are the tools that you have available to you? And I know it sounds all very complicated, but it really, if you can take the big picture and step out of it and have a look at it with perspective, taking the time to stem the fears and the upset and that's how I should feel, because that's how everybody feels when that happens, or they did that to me and I'm justified in feeling this way because it would make anybody angry, or well, businesses all go through that and it's just a thing that we have to get through. But is there a better way of getting through it? Is there something I'm missing, a different way of looking at things? It's stepping outside of being in the weeds and being able to see the big picture. And then once you have that big picture, so you can get to that grounded sense of who you are in all of this. Then once you get that big picture, it's easier to then prioritize more rationally than being in the weeds and feeling that, that fear and that anxiety and that worry and that maybe the angst, maybe sadness. It's easier when you step outside there and just try and get that big picture view to know where you want to go from there. And so the other part of this too, and that is with the Sparkle Experience show. And this gift I have that I discovered close to now a decade ago is the gift of sparkle that I bring to the table. And I call it now the Sparkle Advantage, because when you're able to have sparkle, what that can do is it can leapfrog you over a lot of the angst and the trauma and the fog and get you a bit over that, so you can then come back in on your own recognizance in a better place to be able to then start being that CEO of yourself in a different way. So, questions, anyone? And I'll just wait here for a minute to see if you have a question, and you can ask me the question. Other than that, then what I will do is I'll do a little sparkle session with you all on the call. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is just get grounded in your seat wherever you are and just get comfortable. Whether you're watching the replay or not, you can do this, because sparkle goes over time and space, because everything is energy and vibration. And so what I'd like you to do is just get centered, just feel, take a few deep breaths, breathe in slowly, deeply, controlled, breathe out slowly, deeply. As you do that, feel yourself in your seat, just maybe move, think about your body as you do this, feel any tension in your body, and as you notice it, just intend that all that tension gets released. Okay, and just get centered, grounded. Just allow this beautiful cosmic energy from the heavens to come through, silvery gold, sparkly, and just breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings. Allow this energy to enter through the crown chakra, and just allow it to go wherever it needs to go, through to whatever organs in your body needs help. Allow it to go to all the cells, all the nucleuses, all the tissue, all the organs in your body. Let it circulate and bring all the energy, beautiful cosmic energy there, to re-energize, recalibrate, restore, revitalize your whole body. Feel that energy coming through, and then as you breathe out everything that's not serving you, all the sorrow, all the fears, all the regrets, all the angst, all the doubts, all the worry. And just allow them to leave through the window, through the door, through the cord at the bottom of your foot, to your very own special crystal, where it can get cleansed and nurtured with Mother Earth healing energy, the wisdom of the ages, the grounding, the centering of Mother Earth. Just allow that energy in your crystal now to get cleansed and purified, re-energized, and allow that energy to come back up through the cord, bottom of your other foot, to join this beautiful energy from the heavens already circulating in your body. And allow that energy, this beautiful energy from the earth and from the heavens, to just circulate everywhere, through you, in you, around you. Allow it to just bring you this beautiful energy, this healing energy, the nourishment, the vitality, the wisdom, the grounding, the centering, and the joy. And just breathe it all in and breathe out everything that's not serving you, through the window, through the door, through the cord at the bottom of your foot. Get this beautiful cleansing from Mother Earth, centering the grounding, the wisdom, the learning, and allow that cleansed energy to come back up and join this beautiful circuit of energy already going through your body, this cosmic, glistening, purifying, energizing, healing energy. Just breathe in all this beautiful energy. Just feel the energy moving. Just allow yourself, welcome all good, welcome all blessings. Feel the love in you. Send love to all your organs for keeping you well, healthy, looking after you, pumping you blood, the heart, the lungs, filling you up with oxygen, with the air that's in there. Your muscles and your skeletal system for supporting you and helping you to move around in your day. Your brain for processing all the things that you need to observe and see and do and think. Your nose for smell and breathing. Your tongue for taste and appreciating food, and your stomach for digesting, and all the other organs for all the things they do. And just feel that love for your body, yourself. Give thanks for everything you have in your life and all the blessings. Know that you're deserving, you're beautiful inside and out. Feel this energy moving and allow it to move. To clear everything that's not serving you. To help you to release everything that's not serving you. To most importantly, forgive yourself for everything and anything that you ever blamed or shamed yourself for doing, because you've learned your lessons. And you can forgive, but you don't need to forget, because in forgetting, that's where we learn to take those lessons and make ourselves a better people. To have compassion and empathy, and to have that love of self and others. And understanding that we are all human and we do the best that we can do. So forgive self and others. You don't have to forget, just forgive, simply forgive. Allow the weight to lead through the window, through the doors, through the cord at the bottom of your feet right now. Breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings. Then allow this energy to come into your dantian, where your navel is, to give you energy. When you're low in energy, that you can draw from in your day. And just feel that beautiful, beautiful feeling of peace and clarity. Allow yourself to feel the energy. If you can, it's okay. If you can't, that's fine too. Notice what you notice, feel what you feel. And if you don't notice anything, that's perfectly fine as well. Just allow and know that this is a space, a safe space, where you can release everything and anything that's not serving you, and welcome all good and blessings, because you are deserving, you are worthy, and you are beautiful inside and out. And then whenever you're ready, you can come back, feel your toes and your nose, wiggle your fingers around, start Slowly opening your eyes. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out deeply. When you're ready, you can come back to the present. So, I thank you for joining me on this 37th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show. That is it for tonight. I hope that the things I covered made sense and added a few nuggets of wisdom to your toolkit. It's important to really take a look at yourself, understand yourself, and know what triggers you, have an understanding of that, and make a decision, make a choice. Is that how I want to show up? Or do I want to go into 2025 with a new commitment for self-awareness? People call it mindfulness. I call it making a decision, making a choice to be more self-aware, to catch yourself when you start to feel disturbed or concerned or not happy or out of sorts, where you're not feeling good. And when in that process, then you can make a choice again, the second choice, which is to decide, how do I really want to show up? Is this how I want to show up? And choose to continue the way you're showing up at that moment, or to stop yourself in that moment and make another choice and behave or get to feel differently by choosing how you want to look at what is happening that's causing you to feel the way you're feeling. And it sounds simple, however, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do. And that's what I like to think of Sparkle as being one of the things that help my clients powerfully, and you possibly today on this call, even if you are watching the replay, because that is the Sparkle advantage, is that quantum energy shift that's possible. And we all have life happening, and that's why it's good to stay in this level of self-awareness, to choose to be more self-aware, to get better at catching yourself. And I'm giving a lot of tips here because that's really the key. And how you do that, you can make it easier. You can go at the hard way by yourself, or you can find a coach or a mentor who can help you do it and cut years off of getting there. Because what I teach, it wasn't something I was born with. It took me, I would say, 20 years to get to what it is that I'm sharing in the Master the Art of You program. And there will be more of those coming up. So if you're interested, email me and get on a waiting list. So love that you would join me tonight, or whenever it is that you're watching this replay. I hope you got some insight into what you could do for your business and for yourself. And I hope this also added a little sparkle to your day. So that's all for tonight, guys. Have a really lovely evening, and join me another time, another Wednesday, and maybe check out what it is that you'd like to get sparkled with. So good night, and until we see you again, that would be on February 19th. Same time, different place, because there's a different Zoom link for that. So bye for now. Good night. Thanks again for joining me. It's Michele Ho Lung saying good night.